Hello, welcome everyone to lecture number 38 of Fundamentals of Computing. This lecture is on network security. In this lecture, I'll cover network security. That is, here I'll give an introduction to network security, what it is, then the security goals, security attacks, encryption, firewall, intrusion detection system, access control, and regular updates and patches. So let's start with the introduction to network security. We all know internet is nothing but it is a network of networks. Lots of data is available on the internet that can be used for getting a relevant information. In the case of the internet, so many devices are connected with each other. There are chances of misuse of a data and data breaches. So that it means what? There must be some way through which you can protect your data. That's why the network security comes into the picture. So what exactly is a network security? It aims to prevent, detect and respond to various threats, including malware, phishing attack, and the data breaches. It provides, another way you can say, it provides a safeguards to the computer networks as well as the data they transmit and store from unauthorized access, misuse, and attacks. So it combines variety of tools, technologies, policies, and procedures to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of systems and data within the network. So what is the confidentiality, integrity, and availability in this? These are the security goals of any network security system. Integrity, it means what? The data is complete, trustworthy. It means what? It ensures your data is accurate and it has not been modified or accidentally altered by an unauthorized user. Confidentiality, on the other hand, that ensures that the sensitive information is only accessible to authorized individuals and systems, preventing unauthorized disclosure or leakage. Availability, this ensures that authorized users can access systems and data when they need it, regardless of the circumstances. So integrity means what? It ensures accuracy and consistency, you can say, of a data. Whereas confidentiality means what? That prevents from the unauthorized access, and availability means what? When the data is available to the user when it is required. So these are the three security goals. So let's see in detail what the confidentiality, integrity, and availability stands. Confidentiality means what? It is the most common aspect of information security. You have heard or use a word data is confidential, means only the user can have access to that data. If they give a permission to others, then only it is accessible by the others. Otherwise, it is not accessible to the other person other than the user itself. It means what? We need to protect our confidential information. Therefore, the picture, this lock is there. Information needs to be hidden from unauthorized access, and organization needs to guard against those malicious actions that endanger the confidentiality of its information. Integrity, integrity means what? The accuracy and the consistency of the data. So it means what? The information, sometimes information needs to be changed constantly. So what happens in the case of a bank? when a customer deposits or withdraws money, the balance of the customer's bank account needs to be changed. In that case, integrity means that change needs to be made only by the authorized entities and through authorized mechanisms only. Whereas availability, it means what? Available to the user that has requested for the data 24/7. So the clock picture is there. It means what? The information created and stored by an organization needs to be available to the authorized entities. Information is useless if it is not available. So it is only useful when it is available to the required user. The unavailability of information is just as harmful for an organization as a lack of confidentiality or integrity. So, example is, imagine what would happen to a bank if the customer could not access their accounts for transaction. So, when the customer doesn't have a knowledge of their accounts, then how can they do the transaction from that account? So, in that case, one can say that yes, that information should be available to the customers of a bank. Next, after getting through the security goals, that is integrity, confidentiality and availability, next is the security attacks. Security attacks, these are of different types. These attacks are on the confidentiality, integrity and the availability of data, or you can say information. So, first one is the threat to confidentiality is what? Snooping and traffic analysis. Threat to integrity, the modification, masquerading, replaying and repudiation. Threat to availability is the denial of services. So, let us see what are these security attacks one by one, which are related to confidentiality, integrity and availability. So, first start with the confidentiality. Snooping. Snooping is nothing but it refers to unauthorized access to or interception of a data. To prevent a snooping, the data can be made non-intelligible to the interceptors by using some techniques. Most popular is the encryption techniques. Another threat is a traffic analysis. Here, attackers can gather information by monitoring online traffic. So, attackers can find the email addresses of the sender and the receiver and can collect the pairs of responses and requests to guess the nature of transactions between the sender and receiver. So, it is very harmful in the case of if the financial transaction has taken place between the sender and receiver. Security attack, in the case of integrity, what are the threats to the integrity? This is the modification. After intercepting or assessing information, what will happen? The attackers might modify the information to make it beneficial for them. For example, a customer sends a message to bank to initiate a transaction. If the attacker intercepts that message and it can do the modification in that and changes the type of transaction to benefit itself. So, in that way it is very dangerous while dealing with the financial data. Masquerading is the another threat to integrity. In this, when the attacker impersonates somebody else. For example, attacker might steal the bank card and PIN of a bank customer and pretend that the attacker itself is that customer. So, in that case, sometimes the attacker pretends instead to be the receiver entity. For example, a user tries to contact a bank, but another side pretends that it is a bank and obtains some information from the user. So, in that way they can use what? They can get the profile and important information of the user, that is the PIN number. If they get the PIN number, they can have the access to the account and they can withdraw the money. In that way, the user may lose the money from their account, although the money has been withdrawn, but it has gone to the someone else, that is the attacker. Another threat to integrity is replaying. In this, the attacker obtains a copy of a message sent by user and later tries to replay it. What does it mean? For example, a person sends a request to the bank to ask for payment to the attacker who has done a job for that person. The attacker intercepts the message and sends it again to receive another payment from the bank. Another threat to integrity is a repudiation. In this type of attack, it is different from others because it is performed by one of the two parties in the communication, that is the sender or the receiver. The sender of the message might later deny that it has sent the message. The receiver of the message might later deny that it has been received by them. For example, denial by the sender would be a bank customer asking its bank to send some money to a third party, but later denying that it has made such a request. Another example is denial by the receiver could occur when person buys a product from a manufacturer and pays for it electronically, but manufacturer later denies having received the payment and asks to be paid. So, this type of threat is called repudiation. Threats to the availability is denial of services. It is very common attack that may slow down or totally interrupt the service of the system. Here the attacker can use several strategies to achieve this. The attacker might send so many bogus requests to a server that the server crashes because of the heavy load. The attacker might intercept and delete a server's response to a client, making the client believe that the service is not responding. The attacker may also intercept requests from the clients, causing the client to send requests many times and overload the system. So, these are the threats to the confidentiality, integrity and availability that the security goals. Next, I will discuss about the encryption. I mean the methods, or you can say the process that the network security has or provides for preventing the misuse of the data or from the unauthorized access of the data. So, under that category, the first one is encryption. Encryption is nothing but it is a technique used to achieve security goals. Security goals means what? The confidentiality, integrity and availability, and prevent the security threats. What happens in the encryption? It is the process of converting readable information into an unreadable format. So, readable information is termed as a plain text. Unreadable format means the ciphertext. So, information is sent for security purposes and can be decoded by the decryption key. This figure shows how the data encryption works. Here we have the sender at one end and the recipient at the other end. So the sender will wants to send this message, which is the plain message, that is the unencrypted message, and that is called as a plain text. On that, the encryption key is provided, and this gets encrypted into the some message that is called the ciphertext. Means you have written the Greeks of Greeks, but after the encryption it becomes KGIT like this. So this is not the, this is the unreadable format, and this is the readable. After that, again the decryption take place when the encryption key is, or you can say decryption key is provided over here. This unreadable message is converted back to the readable at the end of a recipient, that is converted into the plain text. So here the decryption of the message take place. This is the way how the data encryption works. There are two categories of encryption. One is symmetric key. In the case of a symmetric key, a single key is used for both encryption and decryption. So it is based on sharing secrecy. Another one is a asymmetric key. In this, different keys are used for encryption and decryption. So it is based on the personal secrecy. It means what? In the symmetric encryption, there is a single key which is used for both the encryption as well as decryption of the data. Whereas in the asymmetric, the two keys are used. One key is for the encryption of the data, another key is for the decryption of the data. Means conversion from the readable to unreadable and unreadable back to the readable at the receiver end. Another technique is a firewall. It is a network security device or a software. It means what? Firewall may be a hardware or it may be software. What it does? It monitors and controls incoming and outgoing network traffic based on predefined security rules. So here you have the internet, and attackers are in between the private network that is accessed by the user and the firewall. So this firewall does nothing but it prevents from this attackers by which is based on some predefined security rules. So unauthorized access is prevented. Attackers cannot attack on this, and private network becomes a safe. It is installed between the internal network of an organization and the rest of the internet. The primary goal of a firewall is to protect a network by filtering out unwanted or malicious traffic such as malware, viruses, or attempts to gain unauthorized access. Example of firewall are FortiGate, Palo Alto Networks, Checkpoint, and Cisco Firepower. What exactly the firewall do? It monitors the network traffic. It means what? Firewalls are positioned at the network edges or in data center to monitor all traffic attempting to cross the boundary. Inspecting the data packets, it means what? Firewalls examine data packets in real time against predefined criteria to determine if they are a threat. Regulating traffic, firewalls use these criteria to decide whether to allow or block a traffic. Enforcing rules, It can enforce the rules and policies to restrict certain type of traffic, means certain type of websites are not allowed to be accessed by the user. Protects against external threats. So in this, the firewall guards against cyber attacks like malware, hackers, and denial of service attacks. So these are the jobs that are done by the firewall. In this way, this will protect the user from unauthorized access. Another one is an intrusion detection system. Intrusion detection system, that we also call as a IDS. It means that intrusion means unauthorized access to device, network or system. So intrusion detection system is what? It is a software that monitors a network for malicious activity. Any malicious activity is either collected centrally using a security information and event management system or reported to an administrator. So what is this firewall and the intrusion detection? Firewall deals with the network traffic, whereas intrusion detection system, this acts as a security layer by helping to identify and prevent unauthorized access or attacks on a network system. Intrusion detection system can be classified into two types. First one is a network intrusion detection system. It monitors an incoming or outgoing network traffic from all devices on the network, whereas HIDS, that is the host based intrusion detection system, it monitors the activity on the device on which it is installed. Next, I will talk about the access control. Access control, this is a mechanism that regulates who or what can view or utilize resources in computing environment. Access simply means what? Who can view, who can access it, who can use it. The control on that can be provided for providing the network security. The primary goal of access control is to minimize security risk by providing access to authorized personnel only. Means this is the data. If it's a data, the access to this data will be done by the only authorized person. It performs identification, authentication and authorization of the users by evaluating login passwords, PINs or any other authentication factors. The components of access control are authentication. Yes, this is the first step in access control, where the user is to be verified using its identity. Authorization. After the authentication, user is allowed to use the resources up to some extent for which it is authorized. Access, it allows the user to actually interact with the resource. Manage, it manages the access control system by updating access policies, managing authentication and authorization of users. And the audit, it is nothing but it collects the data about user activities and helps in identifying any suspicious activity. So what are the regular updates and patches? Regular updates means the software updates are released periodically that will improve overall functionality of the software. It may contain the new features, bug fixes, security improvements, performance enhancement and other features that provide the experiences, you can say better experience to the user. Patches, these are nothing but these are the small updates that are released to fix specific issues or vulnerabilities like bug fixes or security flaws. Both the updates and patches are useful in enhancing the performance of a system and keeping it secure from vulnerabilities. So, this was all about the network security, which is very much required to protect the access of our data so that it cannot be misused. Thank you.